That was awesome. Boy, did Auburn need that. They dominate Arkansas.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Goodness gracious. Darrell Dapprich joining us live from Neville, Montgomery radio legend himself. Auburn wins 95-73, Darrell, in a game where early in the first half, Keshan Hall took over. He was unguardable no matter what he tried to do. Arkansas could not stop him. And then it felt like it was contagious. And then the game was over, and Arkansas couldn't do anything about it.
Well, a couple things. First of all, this team, best game they played all year, without a doubt, winning by as much as they did, 22 against a ranked top 15 team. I think the biggest takeaway from this, Zach, is how they responded to two emotionally draining, gut-wrenching losses. You found out a lot about what this team was made of with the way, not that they just came back and won this game, they came back and won this game emphatically. And so that shows me a lot, tells me a lot about the way this team might be coming together, the mental makeup, because quite honestly, it's tough to recover and play with the two losses that happened with Auburn. And I think a microcosm of that is when they were up 15 at halftime, Zach, they could be looking around in the locker room saying, hey, guys, we were up 16 against A&M. Let those thoughts creep in. And no, they extended the lead coming out of the second half. Two very, very promising signs for me.
Keshan Hall, 30 points, 11 of 14 shooting. I mean, you don't see that very much. I mean, that is a special performance, Darrell.
Tell me the last time in Auburn history, is all the great teams they've had and all the great players they've had, and they've had a ton. When has Auburn had a natural scorer like this that can score the basketball, it seems like, at will? And he does it, Zach, in multiple areas of the floor. He can take you off the dribble and drive to the basket. He hits his free throws. He hits floaters. He hits mid-range, and he can crush the three. So, I mean, he went leather strap to donkey tonight is what he did. All right, leather strap you wear around your waist to what Mary and Joseph rode into Bethlehem is exactly what he did tonight. And it was unbelievable performance to watch it live. I've been in this arena. I've been over at Beard Eves. It was probably one of the best performances in person I've seen an Auburn basketball player in history put on tonight performance.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And then once you saw him get going, I mean, it was contagious to some extent. I mean, you saw Kevin Overton get his. Keyshawn Murphy, goodness gracious. I mean, he didn't make threes at Mississippi State. He's making threes here. He should have one more, assuming he got the one off in time.
Amen.
Earlier this week. But he had 16. He was 6 of 10. Okay. But this team, when it goes through Keshan Hall, and Keshan Hall's the guy, I think we saw glimpses earlier in the season where they tried to make Tahad Pettiford and Keshan Hall 1A and 1B, and that's not what this team is. This is Keshan Hall's team. Tahad is a big piece of it. Kevin Overton's a big piece of it. Elijah Freeman's a big piece of it. But this team, the dog, the alpha, it is Keshan Hall, and it doesn't need to go any other way.
There's a big differential or a big difference between going to somebody or going through somebody. And I think when Auburn tries to go to him and force it too much, they struggle. When you go through him and let the offense flow and let him be the focal point at the top of the key, I'm going to tell you something. He found some open dudes, too, from the elbow. Wing, we'd kick it to the wing. And I just think the Murphy 16 points and how he's playing lately is a direct result of him getting healthier. And when he gets healthier, and let's not understate what Jovic gave Auburn off the bench in the first half on a wonky knee. So, and Blake, I don't know what the deal is with Magwood. I'm not going to be able to attend the press conference. I don't know if he's hurt, if he's in the doghouse, whatever. But Blake came in, hit a big three, and had a cuff in hell. He's a great player, and it completely changed the complexion when they put Blake on him.
Yeah, Blake Michalek, 5 points, made his only shot, made 2 free throws. Philip Jovic, 3 for 3 from the floor, 7 points in just 12 minutes of action.
He was efficient.
Case scenario for a guy kind of nursing an injury was questionable. You let him play, you let him dominate in those 12 minutes, and then you say, okay, we're up a lot. There's no reason for you to play anymore.
Well, I made this point on the Barncast with you guys at halftime, and I want to make it for these listeners as well. Auburn is a completely different team when they get a little rest. Remember, the toughest stretch of basketball they had was that grind where they went out to the West Coast twice, came back to Auburn, went to the Midwest. They came back, rested and refreshed, looked really good, albeit it was against Queens. Then they played 2 games in 4 days, 2 emotionally draining games in Georgia and Texas A&M. And I think that was just too much. They couldn't finish. With this kind of depth that they have, which is non-existent, playing 8 players, you saw them not being able to finish against A&M, although they technically did finish. This, having 5 days rest and coming back out here today, they look fresh. And Arkansas, very curious. They've got a lot of bigs, but they don't like contact. They don't like to play around the basket. And why in the heck, if you're John Calipari and you watched film on what Bucky did, why would you not press? Why would you not press? And he didn't. And I think it has a lot to do with personnel. He's got bigs on the floor, and you saw what Arkansas was doing. You mentioned it in your live. They crash the boards, and they hang around the paint to get offensive rebounds. Auburn got a ton of runouts on the backside of that because they got guys like Freeman, who, can we not play him in the slot for football? My goodness, he is fast. And it has some ups, right? Overton was getting out in front of their defense. So, you know, that's a strategy that I thought Cal was going to adjust in the second half, and they still kept going to their. He didn't adjust because he's
not a good game day coach.
He's a legend in his own mind, so he's not going to change because he feels like he's got the secret sauce, and he's not going to change. Changing would really be a dent in his ego, and so he's like, I'm going to do this, and this is what I'm going to do, and then he got blown out because of it. He's petty.
Go down with a ship, my guy. Go for it. Who
cares? The other thing that bothers me, and I've been saying this for years in college basketball, Auburn's up 28-27 with about a minute and a half to go, and Stephen Pearl empties his bench, and Cal leaves his starters in. I mean, I get it. You're down 28, though. Dude, did that 22-point leather strap you wear around your waist, I won't say it again, did that make it look better? 22 compared to 28? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah,
it does look better.
It does. And so and that's how petty he is. But I loved how Stephen Pearl answered the pettiness. Under a minute to go, ball out of bounds. Arkansas challenged it. It got overturned. 10 seconds later, Stephen challenged one, got overturned, went to Auburn. You know, you do what you do. You show you're not intimidated by whoever's on the other end of the court.
So I don't want to ask a hypothetical. I don't want to ask a what if, but I'm going to. That's next right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Darrell, FanDuel's the best place to bet on anything. I mean, especially the NFL playoffs. Your Steelers, a 3-point underdog against Houston this weekend. My Patriots, a 3.5-point favorite over the Chargers tomorrow night. Get in on the action. FanDuel's the best place to do it. Look, I went live earlier today, and I looked at the line for this game, and I'm like, how in the world is Auburn favored? Well, okay.
I was shocked.
1.5 or 2.5, depending on what you got it at. Yeah, that was not enough. That was not enough. Can you imagine if FanDuel would have been like, yeah, Auburn's the 20.5-point favorite? What? We all would have thought that was crazy. Insane. Hey, head over to our friends at FanDuel. It's the best place to get in on the action all season long. Visit FanDuel.com to get your playoff profit boost going every single game day. The Auburn Tigers embarrass, dominate, destroy, blast Arkansas 95-73. I asked this question towards the end of the Barncast, Darrell. If Keshan Murphy's shot against A&M doesn't get overturned, can you imagine the hype and energy and excitement around this program right now.
I agree with that, but I don't think this game plays out the way it does if that shot goes in. I'm not saying Auburn doesn't win, but I'm telling you, they looked like they had a chip, a mission. They were absolutely locked in, and I think it was a direct result of having a mat on. And what surprised me, that ESPN, what is it, the BPI predictor? What is that thing called? Am I right about that? You always put it up. Yeah, you put it up. You're really, really good at showing that the day of the game.
Yeah, sure.
It was like 64% Auburn to win.
It was a lot. Yeah, no, like, this is weird.
I was shocked. Yeah. They knew something. I mean, is it Arkansas on the road? Our good friend Ty Richardson, who's with the Arkansas Network, who we see at SEC Media Days a lot, was here. He came over. He said, "What an atmosphere!" He said, "Y'all beating us double digits today." I said, "Are you?" I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "We're not good on the road," and he said, "I just have a feeling you're not starting the season 0-3, and we're not starting at 3-0." And he needs to buy a lottery ticket on the way home in Georgia or wherever he's going through.
Yeah, I bet on the game.
I guess you wouldn't go to Georgia. I'm not very good. I'm not Magellan. You'd go west. So anyway, to go back to Arkansas.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
Yeah, I'm a little – yeah. So
no, you're good.
I think that you make an excellent point. I think Auburn would win this game, but I don't know if they would have came out as sharp, as focused, as intense, as driven as they would have. And, yeah, if you win and you're 2-1 – there would be a lot of hype because you probably, if you beat Texas A&M and that shot goes and you win this game, there's a chance you might be ranked.
Yeah, right.
So
right. Yeah, I mean that's a good argument about like is the chip on your shoulder, is the pressure on you, and look, I think it's awesome this team responded that way when there was pressure on them. Boy, isn't that refreshing to see.
For all the people that got on Stephen Purr really hard the last two games, I want to say this. A lot of times a team is a direct reflection upon your coach's personality.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed. He was angry. And he was very, very focused after the last two games. And you could tell how locked in he was. And I'm telling you, this team took on his persona and fed off that. And well, first of all, they guarded as good as they've guarded all year. And it goes to show you, if you can play that kind of defense and hit your free throws, you can beat anybody, especially here with the way this place was jumping. But it also helps when you shoot an ungodly percentage from the field, and they did from three, and they made free throws, and they didn't turn it over as much, and they out-rebounded Arkansas. I mean, Kyle made a great point at halftime. He said, are they big, soft? They got a lot of tall guys. They are.
They played soft tonight, at least.
They're perimeter guys. They're 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", long arms, but they love to hang out at the perimeter and don't go in there and get rebounds. And so I'm shocked at the points in the paint, the rebounding. There's no way I would have thought that if you'd have told me before this game that Auburn would have completed those two very important statistical leads.
Yeah, 17 of 24 from the free throw line, but and Sway was 0 for 4.
That's the only negative of this basketball.
He's got to figure that out.
He's got to figure that out because a good coach. Well, the one thing Steven's going to have to do, Zach, is if it's late, like under 2 minutes in a game and it's close, he can't be on the floor. I'm sorry. You got to put Freeman in because a good coach will foul him, and it's going to cost you a basketball game. So under 2 minutes, in a game that you may be up 2 or 3 and the other team's going to foul, you got to get him off the floor.
Can we stop doing this stuff? So
no,
this person's saying, my guess is that Bruce gave them a pep talk. What are we doing?
No, he did not.
What do we do? Like, if we're going to get on Steven for when bad stuff happens, you got to give him props when good stuff happens.
Let me tell you why that would never happen. That undercuts and undermines his son's authority in a huge way if you come in and talk to a team. There's no way you do that
at
ever.
A devastating level.
Yes.
How awful would that look?
That is totally, taking the power and authority away from him. So, no, that didn't happen. There's no doubt that Steven's the one that had the pep talk. And I love what they did at halftime. They did not come out and rest on their laurels and sit back. Mm-hmm. They were aggressive. I mean, it got up to 25 within 5 or 6 minutes, and it was over. Yeah. I watched, you could watch the body language. And then when Arkansas starts to get chippy, it starts to get frustrated. They're frustrated. They're done. they're done. And they
Well,
started.
and I love how Tahad responded in that moment. He took it. He didn't do anything back.
Yep.
I love that.
It's how you got to do it, because you're going to basically right there. The hook and hold in the first half was a key moment where Auburn stretched it out to 15 or 16 because of that. And, of course, that right there, the game was pretty much in hand at that point anyway. But it kind of took Arkansas' soul because it was a 4-point trip. And the lead ballooned from 22 to 26, and it was over. So,
All right, let's do what we do at the end of every broadcast. What is Auburn's record over the next 5? They go to Missouri. They host South Carolina. They go to Ole Miss, to Florida, and they host Texas. Got a little bit of a run here. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'm going back and forth between 3-2 and 2-3. I'll be optimistic and say 3-2.
I'm going to say 3-2 also. I think they figured some things out tonight. I think that they know now that they have to play through Keshan. I think they found their 8-man rotation that they really like. And I think that Blake coming off the bench and being a shutdown guard, even if it's 10 minutes, really helps you in the flow. And that was to break that out in a conference game that you've lost to and you have to win speaks volumes to me of how they'll do that probably the rest of the year.
Dap, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Well, obviously with you after every basketball game live, and boy, are these fun when you smoke somebody like this.
Yes.
Wednesdays and Fridays with you, a lot of news will be coming up, a lot of portal stuff still happening. And always stay close to your phone for notifications, because you and I can go live at any time when something pops, right?
That's right. That's right. I will have a show up tomorrow morning that I'll record either late tonight or early tomorrow morning before church stuff. Recapping the rest of the portal announcements from today. So that'll be exciting. A lot of people talking in the chat. I mean, just minutes or like towards the end of the basketball game, Jake Johnson, the former North Carolina and Texas A&M Aggie tight end.
I didn't realize he was Brad Johnson's kid.
Yeah.
Football.
He's a solid tight end. Like
Yeah.
he's been a starter. He's plays multiple positions on the field. They move him around. It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, that's good.
Makes a ton of sense.
Bloodlines are good there, man. Bloodlines are good.
Yeah, for sure. So talk about him as well as defensive linemen and some other guys that they added today. So please like the video, please subscribe, and we will see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.